Iran. While it might not exactly be the most powerful nation in today's world, 2.5 millennia ago, things were very much different. From the 550s to the 330s BC, much of the Middle East was dominated by the Persian Achaemenid Empire. The empire might today be remembered in the West largely as the antagonist of the ancient Greek city-states, but it also ruled over countless different kingdoms and connected the ancient Near East for over 200 years. So just how did they control such a massive expanse of land, and just how much of an impact did the Achaemenids have on the world they left behind? Thanks to CuriosityStream for helping support the channel. This is the Islamic Republic of Iran. Located right next to the Azerbaijani city of Bilusuvar, this nation is but the latest version of a country that has experienced numerous different updates over the millennia, possibly the most influential and foundational of which being the Achaemenid dynasty, an empire which should really be remembered as more than just the villains of a Zack Snyder movie. The Persians did a lot of groundbreaking things. For one, they didn't do slavery, but also Persian politics and administration was something that would stand the test of time, even in later empires that wouldn't. King Cyrus the Great, the first king of the Achaemenids, or at least the first one that we know for sure wasn't fictional, came into power in a small corner of Persia known as Parsa in 559 BC. Within a decade, he had taken control of the territory previously controlled by the Median Empire, his empire continuing to expand to its greatest extent within barely 40 years. The Median Empire had not been greatly liked by its subjects, but luckily, Cyrus had just as great a political mind as a military mind. Cyrus presented himself as a liberator of places like Babylon, perhaps most notably in allowing the Jewish population exiled in Babylon to return to Jerusalem and even funding the construction of the Second Temple. Whether or not this was more of a tactical move than a generous move, this certainly earned him the place as the only non-Jew to ever be called Messiah. What makes Persia truly tough to rule, though, is that it was, and still is, incredibly diverse. Today, while the population is predominantly Persian, Iran has numerous neighbors of numerous different ethnic groups, and within Iran's borders, it certainly shows, with significant populations of Azeris, Armenians, Turkmens, Balochis, Kurds, and even people who probably wouldn't get mad if you called them Arab because they're, well, Arabs. This was even more so the case with the Achaemenids, who ruled over numerous other kingdoms as a multi-state empire. These said kingdoms, while part of the Persian Empire, would be turned into satrapies, a kind of province ruled by a local governor called a satrap, while the Persian king became the king of the former kingdom, essentially holding multiple positions at once. Cambyses II, just as an example, was known simultaneously as the King of Kings, the Great King, the King of Persia, the King of Babylon, the Pharaoh of Egypt, and the King of all lands. The satraps themselves were often members of the Persian royal family, and ruled over their particular satrap with more or less the same authority as a king, but with many restrictions from the Great King, whose word was ultimately final. The satrap was also joined by a general, who oversaw military recruitment in the satrapy, and a state secretary who oversaw official records. Darius I established key parts of maintaining a united empire, including a sustainable tax system tailored to the productivity of each satrapy, because gods know everyone loves taxes, establishing Aramaic as the single political language, having already been used as a lingua franca across Mesopotamia, and establishing a vast network of roadways connecting all the major population centers for easy communication, featuring a system of couriers able to pass a message from one end of the empire to another in only 10 days, a speed virtually unheard of in the centuries before the telegraph. Darius also established a new capital at the city of Parsa, known to the Greeks as the City of the Persians, or Persepolis, commissioning architects and masons from across his empire to build a grand palace in the city. The Achaemenids also practiced remarkable religious tolerance. Their official state religion was Zoroastrianism, which itself is a fascinating religion that definitely deserves a video of its own. Cogito, if you want to do a collab on Zoroastrianism, please do send me a message. The Achaemenids, however, were generally tolerant of their non-Zoroastrian subjects, And although they didn't generally build temples of their own, they very often helped restore religious structures across the empire, like the aforementioned Second Temple in Jerusalem. Of course, the Persian Empire would also be known for its campaigns against the Greek city-states, engaging in campaign after campaign, coming to a peak in the early 5th century BC, with famous battles such as the battles of Salamis and Thermopylae, both in 480 BC. Although the fighting generally stopped around 450 BC, the empire would later become target of Philip II of Macedon, who had conquered the whole of Greece by the 330s BC, and launched a campaign against the Persian Empire, but was assassinated in 336 BC. This idea, however, would certainly not go unheard by his son and successor Alexander, who would conquer the weakening Achaemenid Empire almost as quickly as it had conquered its predecessor, the Median Empire. The political structure of the Achaemenid Empire did not die with the empire itself, though, as this provincial style of governance would be used by later empires across Eurasia and especially in the Islamic world. In addition, obviously there would be numerous Persian empires and dynasties in the millennia to follow, and the Persian language would even become perhaps the region's most popular administrative language, with many empires utilizing it alongside Arabic for religious purposes. Persia had come long before Alexander and would continue to last long after he was gone, even if in numerous different forms. Now, unless you've been living, maybe, here, you'll know that we're all suddenly being advised to stay at home due to the recent COVID-19 outbreak. Luckily, there's an amazing documentary about this outbreak that you can watch on this week's sponsor, CuriosityStream, The Coronavirus Epidemic, a well-crafted documentary on the current outbreak that I would seriously recommend you watch, especially considering that YouTube would probably demonetize me if I were to talk about it. CuriosityStream, a super high-quality documentary streaming service, also has thousands more options if you maybe want to watch something of a lighter topic, like perhaps history, physics, culture, travel, cuisine, nature, space, or anything else you might be interested in, or even stuff you might not even know you're interested in. I mean, this is kind of the perfect place to find out, isn't it? It's also insanely cheap, at just $2.99 per month, or $19.99 per year, which honestly, I first got my subscription over $20 ago and I'm still trying to get over how cheap that is. To get started and help support the channel, click the link in the description below or go to curiositystream.com/KhAnubis, and once you're there, use the code KhAnubis at checkout and you will also get a 1-month free trial. I mean, hey, that's basically a win-win scenario. Thanks for watching and be sure to smash that like button. Okay, I just died a little bit inside saying that. But in all seriousness, be sure to join the Discord server if you want to get involved with discussions, keep the channel afloat by supporting us on Patreon, and subscribe to learn something new every Sunday.